Hi everyone, my name is Marge or Margie as my friends call me, and this is Imagine Over 50. As you could tell by the garden, this is my wish list. This is not my garden, but I do wish it sometimes. Imagine Over 50 began honestly in December of 2024 when I was my job and I didn't know what to do with myself. And when I went through all that, I went through the grieving stage, I got through the anger stage, I went through the frustration stage, the confusion, and then I began asking myself, what am I supposed to do now? I happen to believe in a higher power, which is why I'm like all there. And so Imagine Over 50 began as a dream, and the dream is very simple. I have been envisioning a community where you have somebody coming to you saying, "Hey, I lost my job." And you have somebody who's on the other end of that saying, "Hey, I know right where you've been. I know that this is going to be a very trying time for you. Are you able to retire or do you want to retire?" Usually the answer is going to be like, "No, I don't want to retire and I'm not ready to retire." So, what do? You can actually drive yourself crazy asking yourself, woe is me, and cry and go boo-hooing and all that good stuff. But I'm not into that, really and truly. I never feel sorry for myself, which is probably going to get me into trouble one of these days. But you know what? At this stage of the game, I don't care, you know? But so after you get done asking, what am I supposed to do? Does all of my experience still matter? Will someone give me another chance? And that brings me a question for you. What does starting over really mean? You could be retired. You could have had a spouse pass away, which if that has happened, I am so sorry for you. But maybe your grandmother, maybe your grandfather, maybe you're just experiencing life for the very first time, meaning you lost your job, so you no longer have that little role that you were doing forever. It's gone. There is not going to be another moment for that. So, you put in job applications, you wait and you wait, and then people see that lovely little age. Oh, well, you're 61, which is in my case. People are thinking I'm retiring, but folks, I'm far from that. I am not ready to retire. I have a life going on. I do a lots of different things. And so I started doing things for myself, plain and simple. I have my own travel agency stuff. Why? Because I love to travel and I loved helping others experience that special technique of a travel agency where they say, "Here, Mrs. Jones, here's your all of your information for your trip. Your hotel is on Bunker Street. Your places to go visit for restaurants, here they are." That's what I do. That's the stuff that I like to do. I like to research and do all of the homework and have let my clients have a great time. That's just me. I recently filled out an application for a grocery store. Yeah, I know, I'm weird. But I filled out the application and I took one of those quizzes that they ask you to take. I guess it's a personality quiz or whatever. And one of the questions like, well, if this person didn't do their job and they're whining and buying, do you go to your supervisor? For me, no, I don't. I don't go to the supervisor at all unless it's a continued behavior. Hey, you know, this person here might not, I just don't understand if they just get it or they don't get it. But that was the whole idea. I'm not going to sit there and tattle on somebody. First of all, I am 61. I am not two. There you have it. But at any rate, I filled out the application And see, my phone's right here. I'm always on my phone or near my phone. And the funny thing is I never got the phone call. Hey, would you like to come in for a job interview? What do you like to do? What's your favorite things in life to do? And I didn't get any of that. Nothing. None of it. None. I didn't even get a phone call. I didn't get a phone conversation, and you have no idea who I am. But yes, now my little rant is over, and sometimes I do rant, but I can kick and scream and go boo-hooing and all that good stuff. But eventually, I lose my voice, and I ask myself, what did I do all that kicking and screaming for? What did it accomplish? Usually, nothing, not much. So then I decide what's going to be doing to do next. Perhaps you are fortunate enough to retire. Me, on the other hand, is not ready to retire. And there are many people over the age of 50 who are not ready to close up shop. We want to work. We still have experience. We have ideas. We have knowledge. But it seems like a lot of people are just pushing you off. Or maybe because you're over 50, your job requirement that you want means you want to earn more money. Well, that's the whole point of it. I don't want a minimum wage job, but if it's there and I get hired, okay, I'll just do it. But what happens is when you are filling out these applications and you're receiving these rejection emails, or you hear nothing at all, and you still have a life to live. And that comes to my next story, you know. Um, Imagine over 50, I see it as a community. I really do. I see it where if someone calls me up, let's say we're Susie for a second, okay? There's nobody named Susie, but we're going to call her Susie anyway. Susie can come up to me and say, oh, man. And you can honestly see the dread on the person's face. Oh my, what can we do for you? What happened? And they tell you about how they got laid off or they lost their job. And there's a thing that those of us who are over 50 realize that ageism is happening, even though they claim that it's not. But, deep down, you know that it's happening. And, this is why I started my travel agency. This is why I'm starting Imagine Over 50. It's because I want somewhere where you can feel like you're part of the club. I know it sounds so weird, doesn't it? Hey, I'm on the club. No, folks, what that really means is that you have a community to go out and reach people. Maybe you can network with others who may have had a job offer. It might not be for them, but somebody else might say, hey, I think you would be perfect for this job. And, that was the whole purpose of Imagine Over 50. It's just giving you some resources that could be beneficial to the next person. So there you have it. Hey, Imagine Over 50 is on Facebook. The community support page is there. So if you are feeling so frustrated that you want to put it out on LinkedIn or Indeed or on through Hotwire job, I know hotwire.com is not there, but it's so that you have a place to put your frustrations out, or maybe you had a good day and you need somebody to cheer you on and say, yeah, awesome. That's what I would like to see for our community. So that's why I'm working hard. I am starting fundraisers for Imagine Over 50 as I see the envision going on a deeper level. So, sorry, sending my soda real quick. Much better. But I see us as a chance just to get out and reach other people. So I was recently reminded of a story just by chance. And here it is. I went outside last Sunday here in Atlanta, and the temperature was like 99 with a heat index of 120. And I was stepping outside for just a minute or two, check on the dogs because our lawnmower guy was coming. And along comes this wasp. It was black and white body, and I'm like, okay, that's weird, but all right. He was carrying a cadia or cadiad or whatever you want to call it. The bug was bigger than the wasp. Let's put it that way. And at first, when I saw it, the wasp was just sitting there dragging this bug around. And at first, I thought it was a tree frog. Maybe it was a baby one. You know, you just try to rationalize things. And no, it was a bug. The stinger of the wasp apparently stunned the bug. So the bug was alive, but just stunned out, you know, sort of like anesthesia. But as I was watching this bug, I started realizing that the bug was going up on this hot wall, 120 degrees sunlight, and then it fell. Bug and all, it fell. And I saw that the wasp got its bearing and it proceeded to go right back up to the wall and start all over. And then I finally said, hey, God, thank you. I needed that lesson because no matter how many times you fall, you have to get back up. You have to start climbing again. And I really did take the time to say, thank you. I really needed to hear that, you know, or see it or to envision things for myself. So I was all happy. But I do write articles for Substack. It's my creative outlook, and I'm having a good time with it. So, hey, email us if you need to, or you want to reach out. It's imagineover50@gmail.com. Facebook, we are Imagine Over 50. And, you know, right now it's very, very quiet, but there is a community support page. And, you know, maybe you just need to reach out and you just need to start talking about what you're going through or how you're doing it. And we're just here to help. So Imagine Over 50, join us. We're going to catch you guys later and have a great day.